We'll call the meeting to order. We got what, 6:33? So first on our agenda, approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Old Terrace Park and Rec Commission meeting minutes of May 11th, 2022.
So we have a motion on the floor by Jim to accept the minutes. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion?
If I could make a comment, and Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we look at 8 old business, we're talking about bicycle pumps down at the end, and
Yep.
because they were ordered but haven't come in yet.
Correct.
There was only one, or you ordered
I
more?
only ordered one to see
Okay.
what they were like, and it's not coming in until the end of July.
Right, I knew there was a
After I
delay.
looked There's a big, huge delay on them.
So we could potentially make a change, second to last sentence. One was ordered but hasn't come in yet. It will be installed right next to the bike racks at Park and Rec Center.
Yeah, if you remember our last conversation we had, you and I off
Yeah.
topic, I said we'll do one to see what it looks
That's
like
right.
and works like.
I just want to make sure we we captured it and people don't think we're getting multiple right now.
Right. Well, probably won't even be in before the end of the summer at this rate.
Do I need to make a motion to make that correction to?
I don't think we need a motion to that, but we'll need a motion for the corrected, amended motion
Amended?
to include the correction. And the second, are you accepting
Yeah,
this?
so you're gonna amend also the bay, the
Yeah,
second
they,
bay? Say
it will be installed right next to the bike racks at Park and Rec Center.
Oh,
It will be installed right next to bike racks.
So much grammar.
at Minigo.
Mini go.
Mini go.
Mini go.
Yeah,
Okay, I stand corrected on my correction.
Okay,
Mini
so
golf.
as amended, okay.
Also a good
At
place.
mini go, all right. So any other discussion? All in favor of accepting the amended minutes? Say aye.
Hi.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, moving along. Recognition of guests.
I mean,
So we'll recognize the guests as,
Colt McCoy, John Kadama, and Ed Casella.
okay, for smoke
For
on the
their
water.
water discussion.
Okay. And we'll include them in just a few minutes in the rest of the meeting. Correspondence?
I have none.
None, okay. Review of the bills.
Notice I printed them out larger.
I did.
so the new bathroom here, is that for the one down at the point?
That is, yeah, this point
Is that done?
is 95% done. We're just waiting on some, one of the plumbing fixtures to come in.
What was that for the bathroom?
The new
Bathroom at Fort Saybrook Park.
Right, for the gym and pavilion, you have a OSSO Associates?
Also, that's sound
Also.
also.
Electrical work, okay.
What's the gym? What's the gym? I just know what it is.
2 different bills. Just,
No,
This gym?
he did some work in here.
is that a pavilion?
No, 2 different bills. It's.
Oh,
sometimes
it's
we get-
gym and the pavilion.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
what is a gym pavilion?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
It's our new gift. Someone gave us one.
Love it.
Any other questions on the bill?
Big one.
Quickly.
Yeah. right.
Yeah. We're moving right along here. Okay. We'll go to public comments. Anybody else in the public? Anybody online? I didn't look.
No, there is not.
Okay, thank you. So we can go right to new business. So,
You guys ready? Yeah, come on over. Come join us. How are we gonna do this?
Well, there's 2 seats
You want to
there.
hold the
Is there another
table
chair?
back a little bit?
Well, it doesn't really matter because the owl can go wherever. So, Ed, are you gonna present or Cole, are you gonna present? How do you want to handle it?
And I will be doing most
All
of the
right.
talking.
Just watch out for the cords there.
I got it.
Sorry about that.
No
Our
worries. I'll be-
normal
I'll be
IT
very
guy wasn't
liberal.
here today. John's here for.
Hi,
support.
everyone.
Hi.
Backup support.
Okay.
Welcome.
So for our record, your name so that Jerry can have them in the minutes.
I'm Ed Casella. I'm an attorney in Saybrook.
Cole Taylor, one of the business owners,
And John Kadama.
Yeah.
Smoke on the
property
water.
and business owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Need any spelling, Jerry?
No.
Okay.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to say anything, but you
We
were.
brought a packet of
All right.
stuff if people are interested of some of the newer things that have gone on, so we can pass these out.
I think the
Of course we're
commission would
interested.
Love this. Just a little, so.
There you go. I made 10.
No,
Yeah,
mean-
I haven't sent
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah.
It's all a big old work in process.
Gotcha.
There's extra, send them this way so I can follow
There we
along.
go.
So you may all be slightly familiar with the Smoke on the Water project, 145 College Street, which is the site of the former Dock and Dine. John Kadam is the owner. John and Cole have, worked out an agreement over the past few years to try to redevelop the property, to have an outdoor restaurant on the site. And, we've been through a few different things with zoning and architectural review board and the whole process in the town, all the while talking with Ray and Susan regarding the project, because on one side is the mini golf, on the other side is Gardner's Landing, and on the back side is, what's that?
Fort
Founders?
Fort
Fort Saybrook
Fort
Run.
Saybrook. So Old Saybrook Park and Rec is directly
We're your
involved with
neighbors.
this property, exactly. So I figured I'll let Colt just kind of explain to you, some of the concepts. I think these the plans that you're looking at, the landscape plans are probably the best thing.
Yeah.
The site plan gets a little dense,
Right.
but we have one plan here that shows what it looks like when the trailers and all the everything's there, and then an off-season plan of what it will look like when everything is removed from the property.
Also, the plan during any storm.
Yes.
Good to see. So, hi, everyone. It's amazing. When this project started, my wife was pregnant. Now I have 1.5-year-old twins. Bought a house, opened a new restaurant, all in the time that we've been going through this. So it's pretty amazing. I think the overall feeling here is, we're trying to restore the beauty to the site. We're trying to work with you guys, specifically Parks and Rec, to create, that beautiful, elusive waterfront destination with the town. And I continue going through this to say, the mini golf is a great draw in the summer. Park is a great draw year round. But with that dead space in the middle, that's it. I mean, you're running backs up against the wall. And at the end of the day, if we went forward and built the previously approved site, you're getting a 48-foot in the air monstrosity of a restaurant that will tower over both properties. So when we talk about what's best for the sustainability, the long-term success of that land, while also staying true to the natural beauty of it, this checks every box humanly possible. Since we started this project, we have moved the whole thing back out of the 100-foot setback as far as trailers. We have shifted our hours of operation and come forward to close at 9 p.m. nightly. We have done away with acoustic and live music for the time being. If we choose to move forward with that, we would go in with a separate application to do so. We have committed to a Go Green sustainable approach using all biodegradable PLA corn polymer plastics that literally melt in the sun, anything over 100 degrees, and biodegradable sugarcane produced utensils, having trash cans all over the space. And the one building we talked about building was a pavilion that we modeled after Hamanesset. I mean, this is the ultimate way to bring about a waterfront business that celebrates the space. Now, we have a letter that you guys wrote that had a number of points of concern that we've gone through. And I would say the biggest sticking point on our recent change is when you go through the map here and you see that the continuous sidewalk has been eliminated up by the seawall. And our feeling on that is simply that it's beneficial to the park and the property for two reasons. Number one, you have a built-in right-of-way that's been written through the driveway, which is where people should be entering for the park. You have the wraparound sidewalk on the side of the mini golf course, but then you add to the equation the addition of public docks that are free of charge. You add all the bike racks and everything that go up to the dock entrance, and you eliminate that area that has the potential of having negative overflow from the restaurant into the park, which is that sidewalk adjacent to it. Rather than that, we're celebrating that waterfront view with Adirondack chairs for people to just sit in, things like that up in the front that aren't necessarily part of the restaurant, but are in addition to the property, which anyone can sit in. As a whole, you see here, we have our 5 trailers that are built in. We have our employee parking right here, right below the trailers. Employees come out, the trailers get pulled out in case of storm, very easy. We've, rather than gridding this into all different seating areas like the original plan, we did one continuous flow for the purpose of the off-season. This looks like a nice green park in front of a nice pavilion. The ability there in the off-season, what we have discussed at length and are happy to do is renting that park to the town for pennies, a very cheap price to put an ice skating rink for the whole winter on the water in Old Saybrook. I can't think of anywhere that has that kind of draw. So between the summertime draw of the 6 months of seasonality and the economic windfall for every business in town with that draw, the Claudios of Connecticut, if you will, it's going to help. It's going to help continue in a positive direction. And we're sitting in a town where I live, where, there's a lot of history here, where the waterfront keeps being yanked away from the public. And it's wrong. There has to be a moment where people stop and they look around and they say, when did we privatize the waterfront? And it's not good for all the places I've lived, New York, Miami, LA, Seattle, it doesn't matter. Waterfront should be public so everybody can enjoy the beauty of it. And it shouldn't cost, a $7 million project to build a 48-foot monstrosity in the air to allow that to be used. It should just be celebrating the natural beauty of the land, celebrating the location. We are open to direction from you guys as far as what you would like to see there. You have seen us working with all of you for a long period of time now, but at the end of the day, like I say, I'm a resident of the town with young kids. Everything about this is predicated and built on being a family-friendly, wonderful waterfront location.
Where are you in the process?
We are right about to
Ground zero.
resubmit. We are about to resubmit with all of our alterations that came from going to preliminary zoning, preliminary planning commission. This is our final preliminary meeting where we will take any constructive criticism, any 2 cents from everybody, and we'll try to integrate it to the best of our ability into the plan. And then we are going to submit.
So one of the big changes that Cole didn't necessarily highlight was the amount of landscaping that's now incorporated into the plan. There was questions about buffers and parking lot landscaping.
This
and-
pamphlet goes into great detail from our landscape architect, John Cunningham, who did Stony Creek Brewery and did Hammonasset in Madison and sits on the ARB board in Madison, which helps. I mean, that shows you all of the different plants and everything else. But Sorry to interrupt that.
Nope, that's perfect. And then there's also like a specification sheet showing all like what the tables will look like. The picnic tables, the umbrellas, the bike racks, you know, all the little things, the benches. From the dock, Colt mentioned it a little bit. So what the plan is for the dock is we're required to provide coastal access. So the dock will be, the large dock will be a fully public dock, non-restricted, open to anybody who wants to come. A number of benches will be placed out there. One of the thoughts is, and we're actually trying to engage DEP right now too on this level of discussion. You know, do we make part of it a fishing pier or just leave it for passive? You know, again, we're kind of up for anything as it's public. The area next to mini golf, that's right here. These are 4 bike racks that will be installed so that folks who are visiting the site can, you know, we expect a lot of bike traffic here, pedestrian and bike traffic onto this property. So all of this will essentially be open, and there would be an easement to the town so that folks from town can, you know, get onto the dock. The little dock is going to remain private.
Oh, where's the big dock?
The big dock is this here, from there to there.
Oh, so that is a dock.
That's
Yes.
a dock.
Okay.
That is a
Alright.
dock that abuts and the outside of the deck.
And
It's over.
boats can.
It's the
Pull
existing
up,
dock that's
yes.
there, right?
The existing
pull it in
dock.
tight. Okay. And they don't pay anything to do that?
It'll be like a town dock.
How long can you?
We say 4 hours,
Okay,
you know, 4-hour maximum, no overnight.
okay,
Those are the rules that we've, you know, created as we're gonna go through this process.
okay. And then the deck, is that like where chairs will be? on
Yeah.
the
Deck will be seating for the restaurant.
Okay, so tables and chairs on the deck. Okay.
Yes.
So I think a few of the concerns of the commission, if I can speak.
Yeah.
Speaking back to the letter, was garbage.
Mhm.
Was one big concern that the commission had. Hours of operation and the number of seats. Did any of those change? at all?
Absolutely. So the number of seats has come down from 300 to 268. The approved plan, keep in mind, is 550 plans,
Right, right, right.
550 seats,
Yeah.
with 250 seats of that being outside on an 18-foot elevated deck facing North Cove. So we have, you know, brought it down so it's almost the same outdoor, but as total seating goes. We have brought the hours of operation from midnight down to 9 p.m. closing. It opens at 11
11 to 9.
to 9 is the total window we're looking for, with a 1-hour cleanup and breakdown and cutoff lighting off at 10 p.m.
Will the parking lots be just open? Or are they gonna be gated? So just for your use? How will that work? 'Cause
The same
obviously
way
if
it's
you go down
always
there now,
used.
yeah,
Same way it's
everyone just
always
goes in
used.
there and does
You know,
whatever.
Won't be gated. This strip, it's harder to see on this plan, but
Yeah, the right of way that goes.
yeah, there's a 40-foot right of way that goes from here, for all the way from College Street into Gardner's Landing. So this will remain exactly how it is, and then our parking lots will just kind of be like the
Yeah.
ones next door, mini golf.
Like they are.
Yeah, and I would just make the case that for how long did you operate there?
Okay.
A while. You know, there's never been traffic problems because it is such an attainable place to reach from all the marinas, the hotel, everything else. So much of the traffic that goes to the restaurant is already boat, walking, biking, whatever. Not only that, but we also meet the requirements for 300+ seat restaurant based on our parking spaces.
Have you considered like the issue with Saybrook Inn, employees parking there or taking up our spaces by the pavilion?
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
they're gonna have to
I
get
have
his-
no problem
so
getting tough with Steve
Hopefully he'll have to
under any
get his
circumstance.
people to start parking on his side so that you
Yeah.
have your room for your employees and your
Absolutely.
customers. and you have room
Absolutely.
for our people.
And I think the easiest way to put it is, you know, if it comes to it down the road, you know, there could be like towing things, towing signs. It shouldn't be needed, and we should all be able to work together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
it's so
there
sad that it
lighting
comes
that's
to
added
this.
to the parking lot?
There is, I didn't bring the lighting things, it's being finalized. Basically, there's gonna be parking lot lighting. And we're gonna have a photometric plan that shows
Sure.
no
Yeah.
spill. And then the lighting inside the area will all be just low bollards.
Solar, LED, low light bollards all around the walkway, as well as on the deck, and then marine bollards,
Yeah.
solar,
On the
LED on the dock.
That's
So
going to be one of my questions. The other one is the design of the lighting. Is it going to be similar to what is literally next door to
You
you?
talking about the fixtures
Yeah,
themselves?
yeah.
I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
We're looking
That
at
would just be,
different options,
I
you
know
know,
it's
at
going
the
to
end
be a
of the day,
question going forward, but
the struggle, because we've had this talk with the fence that was used in front
Yeah.
of that, you know, I mean, the budget the town has to spend on stuff is a little bit more extensive than a private budget, so it depends, it comes down to cost. You know, we will beautify the space regardless, top to bottom, every aspect of it. And to go back to your other point on trash, I don't know how many of you have been to my restaurants, but it's just not allowed. You want a
Well-
job, it ain't allowed.
we're speaking from experience from our point of view. So
Yes.
understand that this is coming from our point of view, not
I
necessarily
understand.
directing, you know.
Yeah,
I
negatively.
understand. I'm just saying the way I run restaurants, there's not trash laying around. There's adequate staff to take care of it. And on top of it, our goal is to put trash cans with lids every,
Okay.
25 feet throughout the space. So all staff at all times can chip in and help. And I'm aware that it gets windy down there. So that's a real point of concern that we've addressed. And we're looking at depending on what plates we end up choosing and everything else.
Are they
Okay.
seagull proof, the garbage pails?
Yes.
They're
locking
lids.
Yeah.
I know, and like he said, John Cunningham, who's our kind of on the ground designer, did Stony Creek Brewery, so we know it's a similar environment.
Yes.
So we'll make sure that we talk to him about what they're using over there and the effectiveness.
So mini golf side, we have our fencing that, in
Yep.
in golf, mini golf. Gardner's Landing side, we have just a split rail fence there
Yeah,
as of right now.
Right.
Are those just added shrubs there for boundary?
All
or to
different
keep
planning
people
to
out?
do buffer zone.
Okay,
And if you see, there's a lane here that was requested by Chief Spira.
Mhm.
oh,
And he wants that lane to be constructed strong enough to hold an ambulance and a fire truck in case of need and everything else, which provides a little bit more buffer room on top of that. As far as an actual fence between, other than the split rail, we don't have a plan for that, but we're open to that.
yeah, is there something specific?
no, I just want to know
It's
How are you
just
gonna-
hard, like if you put up like a chain link fence or something,
Yeah.
that's ugly. Nobody wants
exactly.
to look
I
at
agree
that.
with you. And personally, for me as the director, tree work there's a lot of maintenance involved in that. So,
Yes,
depending on property lines and whatnot, it overgrows and things like that. So
absolutely.
I'm just worried, not worried, but there's gonna be people using that park. You're gonna have patrons right there,
Yes.
so.
And part of all the trees added you see are directive given to us from ARB on buffer zone setback and the vegetation we're choosing to plant there.
One of the things you didn't point out either is the area that's,
Is this a roast cold
yes, it
moment?
is. On the water side of the seating area is, you mentioned Adirondack chairs. There's gonna be like yard games and things like that, so it's almost gonna be like a beach.
It's a beach. It's done with sand, or some substrate like that. We have to be mindful of the walkway. We know sand can blow and create some kind of slippery effect, but at the same time, we're also aware that DEP loves all of these drainable substrates all over the property for rain, flooding, et cetera. And we want to add that as much as possible to help with the overall environment throughout the season. You don't want to get flooded because of rain.
So
So this area in the middle where you're planning all the seating, what material is gonna be under?
That's a compacted crushed stone. It's a 3/4 inch pea stone.
So as of right now, we do have a connection point from Gardner's Landing to your property. right?
Yes, you have a right of way right here.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
No,
and
not there,
also
not
water
there.
side.
There is one water side.
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
water-
There's a
Correct.
connection point there.
Correct.
So your plan is to take that away?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And part of that is, I mean, your walkway is the same way.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just
It's
wondering.
this wide, and to bring it up to code and all that, it's 5.5 feet. It's all this extra concrete and stuff. And we're putting in more and more man-made product on a park, and it just starts to take away the beauty of the area.
I think the one drawback to the plan of not having the connection is the actual walking people that do
Yeah.
along the,
Right.
and
Mhm.
I will say the last 4 years, we did put up our fence, so they've somewhat gotten used to not doing that until they
Yeah.
stopped tearing down
Yeah.
our fence, but.
I just make
as
that
people
case
go.
that imagine you have, a full restaurant, 268 people, and they're drinking and everything else. We don't want them to stray over to the park. You know,
That's totally fine. So if people are walking in front of mini golf to this connection point here,
Yeah.
to the
Mhm.
docks, they can fully get access to the dock here. Is this-
there's benches built on the docks. You see those rectangles?
Okay,
Those are all
to
public
cordon
benches.
off your area from the dock.
Our area is just
Because that would
cordoned onto
be-
the deck.
There will definitely be a lot of overflow people
Yeah.
walking out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
there's a railing separating the dock from the deck, so there is a physical separation.
Oh, okay.
yes,
Okay,
and it's
Uh,
42 inches high, and we're redoing
Yeah.
everything we needed. to do.
Yeah, and then if folks do want to continue,
The normal continue. if they
they'll
want.
go down the sidewalk, which is on the town property, and then onto the
we'll be
right of way.
retraining our
Yes.
Yeah,
residents
yeah,
to the
absolutely.
new way of travel.
Yes.
All right, so I wrote the letter, so I know what was in it. It's been, 3 years or more. My concern is, your employee parking.
Uh-huh.
You have a shift coming and a shift going, and they often overlap. So are you going to have enough parking spaces for the
Yes.
person who didn't pull out at exactly 2:15 and the person who has to come in?
Yes, as I said, we have enough parking to get us over 300 seats in the restaurant.
Okay.
Like going down to 268 for what we're asking for, we've controlled the overall size of it to be respectful to our neighbors, but also we've gained overflow parking, which is a
Okay.
beautiful thing to have.
And
So-
with respect to the shifts too, now that the hours are shrunk, it's 11 to 9. So
Yeah,
there's
you're-
going to be a lot of people who work that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a day in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So yes, there will be some overlap, but we're estimating 12 employees.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Including everyone from.
max, 12
Okay.
employees max
Is
at any
the- is
one
the
time.
theme of the restaurant still the same?
Yes.
Is it a server, sit down and have
Serve-
a
yeah.
server, not go to, yes, that was controlled transfer
Okay,
Yeah.
as
so
well.
Oh, you don't,
when we talk
not a
about,
cashier kind of thing?
No, so what it is, the concept, this is a sit-down restaurant. The trailers are where the food is stored, prepped, cooked, and the, office and things like
Yeah,
that.
maybe I can
Yeah.
try to take this quickly. So essentially, the concept was simple. We want to build a real restaurant here. It was never aimed to be Long Wharf, New Haven food trucks.
Yeah.
I want to build a kitchen for cold prep, all of our, raw bar stuff, oysters, shrimp, etc., different pokés, things like that in one trailer. The second trailer is literally a bar built inside of the trailer with a serving window. The third trailer is a refrigerated trailer that handles our walk-in needs. The fourth trailer is the restrooms, which are ADA compliant and can get pulled right off. And the fifth trailer is dry storage and office space. And really that serves the purpose of, oh, a storm's coming, we got to get out of here. We load the tables and chairs into that. And then Dibble comes down and pulls them over to his Corey, and the whole premise to this is we want a real restaurant, full service, sit down, whole 9 yards, servers and everything else, not a stand up and order and wait for your number and nothing like that. This isn't a situation like that. This is a mobile restaurant designed to be in a high flood zone.
So what's in this the bigger
The
pavilion?
big
that's-
pavilion
that's
underneath that, and here's another change that we made, rather than doing a wood-fired smoker, how I originally wanted to, we've gone to a propane rotisserie like oven, essentially. So we've cut down, way down on smoke by doing that, and it will be lined with propane or natural gas. We're playing with if we can bring back the natural gas line that's there. But underneath that is the big 10-foot by 6-foot rotisserie smoker that's on wheels in a trailer, ready to be removed. Tables for the chefs to plate up on, and then a server station on the other side. During the off season, it's there for,
Is there a
Use.
bar area? Because the other one had.
the bar area is in the trailer, the bar. It's
Oh,
all
okay.
tables, there's no bar.
So a person doesn't walk up to the trailer to get
No,
a drink, they
staff
order it
do.
at their thing, and then the
Exactly.
waiter goes and gets it at the window.
Correct.
And brings it to the
Table
table.
service.
Okay. All right, so people don't really go into this pavilion
Right.
No.
very much. I mean, you can smell the meat and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can
but-
see the show. It's just
So
like
I
the
have a-
open
I have a-
kitchen I have at the Essex.
I have a bar question.
Yeah.
So the COVID regulations that were established the last
Yes.
couple of years, you could order to-go drinks.
Yeah,
at certain
no.
Restaurants.
I
Yes, no,
don't
maybe?
know.
Okay.
I mean, just to be clear, state mandates and executive orders have allowed that for restaurants, and then your insurance company calls you up and says, oh, you're doing to-go cocktails, 6,000 extra on your yearly premium.
Because that's not- certainly a concern of ours.
Yeah,
with
we're
our-
not
with
interested in the
our
to-go business. We're interested in the
You're doing right
experience.
into where I was
of
going next,
enjoying
so thank
Is
you.
there
The
a
to-go
bar
business.
seating area though, or
Pardon?
it's only the table? There is no.
There is no
sit-down
bar.
Yeah.
The other-
There is
the other-
tables. It's like,
Yeah.
there's an outdoor dining room.
Yep.
And that's it.
And the outdoor dining room is this
It's that center section, and
ice
if you,
cream. Okay.
if you look to the right of that, you see the two sections here with lines. That is a firmer compacted substrate for ADA compliance
Okay, yeah.
that allows the accessible wheelchairs to roll right in and be in a good substrate area.
So you have quite a few tables for.
Accessibility,
ADA. Okay,
correct. We have 8 with 4 people per table roughly,
Okay.
which gives us 32 ADA accessible seats.
Yeah, I think the plan mainly in the middle is gonna be picnic tables.
Yes,
And on the deck and then the ADA areas will be the 4 top tables.
Oh, they're picnic tables, okay.
picnic
middle.
tables in the center, yes,
Okay.
When you close up at night
yes.
and we have umbrellas on the table and stuff, how heavy or
They come,
screwed in are they?
they come
Excuse me.
with, they come with a 60 to 100 pound weighted base that locks in
So
underneath the
You just
table.
can't pick up the pole and only because we're thinking of
Because
damage.
when they're open and the wind blows, you gotta be able to
We,
prevent.
Okay.
we had them originally on the mini golf course when we
Yeah.
first opened, and we had to get rid of them due to the wind.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. 'cause
Yeah.
They just didn't hold up.
Understandable. It's part of the reason we eliminated tents too.
Okay.
We eliminated tents from the plan altogether because it's not worth the headache. At the end of the day, as John and I have discussed at length, when the weather sucks, we're just gonna close down for the day.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weather dependent restaurant, intentionally so.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna have a good financial day when it's raining.
That's right.
You know, it's better to give everybody the day off and avoid the headaches.
How long do you anticipate it to break it all down and remove it in an emergency situation?
2 hours.
2 hours?
It's not a big to do. And I think it's funny that, you know, I'm friends with Frank Murata, who's over there at City Dock in New London. And it took him, what did it take? 38 hours, 3 guys, 38 man hours to disassemble his project during the hurricane warning last summer. And I think part of that is, you know, the way he built it with the shipping containers and stuff. And we learned from that. We said, why do you need to bring in a flatbed to load this thing up in a crane when you could just have it on wheels all the time, ready to go? We have quick disconnects of electrical. All of the units have built-in gray water disposal as well as water tanks that we can fill directly from here, and we can pump them out directly to the existing septic. But in the time where, you know, you're packing up to leave, everything's like a marine quick disconnect, the same way as a marina and a boat plugs it, which is a great combination, so to speak.
Cool. Jim Henderson. For your electrical power, do you foresee using the existing power that's on the site, or do you
Yeah.
foresee using generators? for any-
So we have, if you go to this little packet here, which gives you the pavilion cutout, on page 3, I believe, yes, 3, you have the electrical platform right there. The electrical platform is designed, and on the floor plan is right here. That electrical platform is designed so all electrical is above the flood line. It's above the 18-foot or 14-foot water board, whatever it is. And it's all mounted across the board. And it's where our Wi-Fi connections will be, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, and you have those quick disconnected as well?
Yeah, so everything's
Up to the
gonna run from the existing pole to this unit. And there's gonna be a lot of spaghetti underground, but it's all gonna be hidden and buried. And then it's gonna run out spider webs to each trailer to hook up. And underneath that connect, there's gonna be enclosed concrete electrical boxes in the ground where we disconnect and put the whip down below, protected and covered. The same thing that'll be the whole off season. So it's just a very quick disconnect.
Do you have any generators planned in case of?
So
outages?
all trailers come with their own situation. So in case of power loss, they're all freestanding and controllable. Along with that, there's also the ability to utilize the existing water and gray water tanks. So everything's housed. So if something happened, you know, an emergency and a storm came out of nowhere, nobody was predicting, you don't have to sit there and dump your tanks. You can just close up and go. You know, and it's the
So where do you
ultimate.
go? Like where?
We have a deal with Dibble.
Oh.
So he is going to be pulling all of our trailers every time, and he's gonna be storing them at JJ Dibble. And he's gonna store them the 6 months of off season there.
See, I was gonna ask you, you say season, what's your season? Would you expect? to
6
start-
months?
Start and close, like Memorial Day through, or?
No, it's gonna be, when did we say?
April 15th to October 15th.
Somewhere like that.
We're limited to 180 days.
It's pretty cold in October, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Where's the dumpster area? Right in the corner over here?
Yeah.
Over that.
Surrounded fence.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's in the plan here with all the tables.
Yeah, wood
And
fence.
you can see that these are the benches, by the way, that we're playing with for on the dock. These trash cans. There's the dumpster fence,
Yeah,
Okay.
just wood cedar.
wood cedar breakaway.
I'll say this, with whatever benches you plan on playing with, secure them.
Yes, well, they're gonna be bolted to the dock.
Good.
You know, they're not freestanding.
A lot of
Are they
bars end up in the
man-made
water
material?
through the years.
I think what we were looking at, it's made of the same materials like Trex,
Oh, okay.
so it's a,
I'm saying, I always say that because
Yeah.
if we're going to allow fishing,
yeah,
then sometimes staining occurs and it's
Yeah.
easier to wash that off.
absolutely.
No security cameras there?
Yeah, we're gonna do a full Wi-Fi setup of Ring cameras and blah, blah, blah. Limiting music to background restaurant music. The majority of those speakers will be affixed to the trailers exterior. And then we're gonna have 2 on the actual pavilion building, but they're all facing out to the water. 100% of the speakers are facing away from the park, away from the neighbors, everything. It's just background.
We're gonna get on the same channel as you guys at mini golf.
Good luck.
Whatever.
I'm not sure all the time.
No, it's like 106.5.
Yeah,
or
there's a
something.
few women one week.
Or maybe we'll let you jump on our channel.
Yeah, right.
You know, we'll hardwire it, so it's like,
Yeah.
Sonos, man, Sonos.
There you go.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
going all wireless with it.
That, I don't know if that would be a bone of contention for us because, it's just the volume, even though you push it over the water.
Yeah,
Water magnifies sound and depending upon the breeze, you may want it to go in one direction, but the wind
Yeah.
takes that sound and puts it elsewhere. Just saying.
They'll probably hear our music a little more than we hear.
Yeah.
theirs, truthfully, because of the way that we are downwind. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll be downwind from us, so.
But I'm pleased with your answer to many of our questions that we had on our letters. I do appreciate the time frame is closer to what our mini golf is, so then we would have a normal flow of people at the same time leaving and entering about the same time, which is a healthy thing for that area. Thank you for more garbage cans, because I know that was in the letter too.
well, I mean, it
didn't
just
think
makes
was-
labor easier too. If
Yeah.
they don't have to walk, 100 yards to get to a trash can, they're more likely to clean up. Guests are more likely to put their stuff in. Like,
Yeah,
I hate to say it, but inherently guests at a restaurant are slobs. And I've learned through experience that that's the whole premise. So you have to make it as simplified as possible for them.
Oh, one of your suggestions kind of sparked my interest there.
Yeah.
That was the off-season use potentially for an ice skating rink.
Yeah, I've been pushing that big time.
Is that anything you want to get involved with, or John wants to get involved, or you think here?
John,
here,
what's your
Park
feeling
Rec,
on it?
You do it for the next.
Here's my 2 cents. Well, John, you have a thought on it?
I thought.
I wanted to do like a
Tom was
hot,
interested in it.
I wanted to do like a hot cocoa stand and work in conjunction with the town putting up a rink. Something along those lines. I think that there is a desperate need in the state of Connecticut. The hockey industry is a growing industry for young kids. To have an ice skating rink and to have it on the water like that, nobody in the United States has something like that. You know, I went to UVM. I have a lot of friends who play hockey. I grew up playing hockey. It'd be a wonderful thing.
It's an interesting thing, but I know the wind on the water is fantastic there in the winter.
Yeah.
So, you really have to dress warm if you really expect
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
to be there.
Oh, it's Connecticut.
Um,
The Canadians are used to it. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
Canadians are, I don't know.
Kids don't care about cold.
No.
As much as we do.
And I think the
They really
bigger
don't.
picture question is, is it something that the town would be interested in, like Colt said, leasing in the off season to be able to continue to have.
It just brings a
available.
year-round
You got a
draw.
Yeah.
pavilion, you have benches, you have open space that makes sense to use from November through April.
Well, I think that would be a commission decision
Yeah.
along with the board of selectmen to figure out.
Yeah, and our 2 cents
One of the
is
things
we're
we were-
willing to do this.
Right.
We're happy to do this. If it's something that you guys want to pursue.
And we were asked to provide the off-season plan, so we did.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's pretty elaborate.
it is.
Do they have chilling underneath?
They do. They have a glyco system.
But when you look at that for all the families and stuff,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
break it down.
Yeah.
simply put, you want to go like really to a rink, like what are your options? Tri-Town and Newington?
Pretty far.
Absolutely.
It is a
Yeah.
far ride,
Yeah.
for kids playing the game. And I mean, it's just a big potential boost for the town.
So as John will know, through the years of Dock and Dine, he had special days, senior day and whatnot. And we've continued that at mini golf, and we still have a lot of
Is there?
seniors that go down and play mini golf on our particular senior day. Do you plan on any promotionals or? anything?
Sure, I do all kinds of promotionals.
I mean, we used to have bus trip. We used to have buses come in and they'd come play mini golf and go have. a
From other
senior-
towns?
Yeah,
Or,
Shoreline. nearby.
sure, yeah.
We're big time.
I mean, the buses already go to like Essex Main Street to the
Yeah.
Connecticut River Museum. Sure, there's grounds to get on board
It
that.
was a really good partnership back in the day
Yeah,
when Dock and Dine was there.
I would
That's how
be
it-
open to all kinds of partnerships. I like to go nuts, like we do partnerships right now with the Essex and the Cape.
Yeah.
Show your tickets, you get 10% off your bill. That's just a simple way to do it, but always cross promotions.
Anyone else with any questions?
Remember the question, but I'm super excited for a restaurant down there. I think bringing in the life back to the river with that public access is awesome. Huge fan of your restaurant, your craft.
Thank you.
I'm more excited though about this plan. I just, seeing it in the off, it's a park. We might not own it, we might not operate it, but I mean, I just think seeing it not as an abandoned parking lot anymore. I just think, this is the first time I've ever seen this or even thought that was really the concept, so to speak. So I mean, I just think that it's sort of a win-win. So I mean, just I guess best of luck is my 2 cents, but.
So my questions for you guys, obviously, there's still a lot for you to do. I'm sure this summer is kind of off the table, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
So,
aiming to do next summer a full season.
full season.
I think the shoulder season is so beneficial to working out the kinks for a restaurant especially. So opening quickly in the middle of busy season is just a recipe
Yeah,
for disaster.
right. So that being said, you're gonna have to go through the same process with zoning and
Yes.
all that good stuff. So there may be other letters that the commission might,
There may be.
they
I
have to
mean,
mull over.
this is a
some of
great
this, obviously.
start because I love to have a dialogue, and I'm sure Ed knows this because we talked about this before. Because we're a symbiotic relationship and we've had it for many, many years, and I want to
Mhm.
continue that. I'm not interested in, you should be here, you shouldn't be here, we don't like this, we don't like that. the reality of the situation is it's a private piece of property and they have a right to use it, but we'd like to do it in a very congenial.
Well, I'll
and
tell you
friendly
this,
way.
over in Essex, my building over there, with Los Charles, my neighbor, owns the funeral home next door. And since I bought the building, we've had a relationship of, busy nights, he doesn't mind. People overflow from the restaurant parking there. And every single day, every afternoon funeral, I come in and I got 40 cars in my parking lot. Like, that's just good neighborly business, and that's the way it should function at all times. Now, this property is unique because for 12 years now, the people of the community have gotten used to just having this space to just go park and walk their dogs and everything else. Well, I don't foresee that going away just because you have a restaurant, because it's an outdoor restaurant. What you have is more energy, more excitement there. You have more people coming down and enjoying the draw of it. And then you have people who learn as they go down. Oh, we want to go to Smoke on the Water. Oh, did you know there's a mini golf course there? Oh, let's go to that.
People still ask, where's Dr. Dunn?
Mhm.
Of course.
Generations, but
Yeah.
my point was, I appreciate all this information because we'll be digesting it and then we'll be having an open dialogue with you.
Yeah, we'll come
hopefully.
back as we're in the process, when we're in zoning, because they'll want to hear from zoning, will want to hear from you.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah, and we
appreciate,
love a letter of support if we can get to that place.
When's your next meeting for them?
not scheduled.
Nothing.
Yeah, we're trying to get everything in, and then Chris will set up the dates.
How long do you expect, like, if you get the approval to get this plan done and the shrubbery in and,
Well, it's 2 months minimum, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the zoning process itself is a 60, 90 day
Yeah.
yeah.
minimum.
So if you get the approval, you'll start working obviously before April to get this plan in motion.
Yeah, I would say in the fall,
It's a lot of
we
site work,
would start
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
all the underground utilities.
Is there anything that needs to be done particularly to the parking lot? I mean, are you gonna re-asphalt it? Are you gonna seal it?
We are doing some kind of either crushed cells or pea stones for the non-right of way parking lot to give them that permeable surface that they're clamoring about in the existence of rain and floods
Yeah.
and everything else. The EP really wants that substrate there.
Impervious.
Impervious.
Perfect.
Yeah, pervious. There you go. Thanks, Ed. But as far as that goes, I know the right of way, which the town controls, does want it to be paved and will be repaving. So essentially with this whole area from College Street over will be asphalt. And then everything up here will be the pervious.
So
It'd be the
people will
section,
parking
yeah.
on Stone.
Yes.
I guess one question for you that Ray brought up earlier, and again, you don't have to answer now, but what type of fence do you want the split rail to continue along that northern boundary line with Gardner's Landing?
Yes, no, and maybe. I mean, I
Yeah,
certainly
think about
do like the aspect of some sort of fencing, but that fencing is old and certainly needs some repair. Are
I
other-
I think it would look like what we did on NFL Road for the high school, that kind of fence.
That type of fencing.
Yeah, that's what we have. We're showing that here because that's what the pedestrian, is blocking the pedestrians from entering into some of the walking
So
areas.
the wood timber is what we've done in a lot of different
This type.
locations, so.
Yeah.
It would be,
Yeah.
it would certainly look a lot nicer, it'd be easier to maintain it.
It's just not very high.
It's not very high.
That's,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really serve the purpose of keeping people out. It's more of like, here's the property line
boundary,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
It's a boundary.
But
split rail has a better
I mean,
chance to prevent people from.
it's kind of like
Jumping
you
in.
said, in the off season, what does this look like? It looks like an extension of the park, and that's what we want it to look like. And we want it to be symbiotic in that way where we're working together to maintain the natural
And I
beauty
think
of this.
truthfully, the boundary is really not the issue, because your staff will have to recognize people that didn't come in the right
Yes,
way and just,
absolutely.
so that's really on the staff when you get
Yes.
to that place, so.
And that's why we did this singular walkway around with a condensed confined seating area. It really draws attention to, this is the restaurant, everything else, not so much.
But that was the first thing when you started discussing that I was really happy to hear.
Yeah.
Because our primary concern was you had an open bar it's in the middle of summer and people are going to be drinking and then they're just going to be wandering back and forth and we have friendly family parks on the
Yeah.
three sides here. But now that it's just a seated area and they can't just go up to the bar and say, I want a beer to
Well,
go.
it's always been just
And,
a
you
seated
know.
area. That's a misnomer from our original application. There was never a plan to put a bar in here. It was always table service only. But you know, I'm an honest person, so I don't come in the room and say, there's not gonna be any drink. Like, it's a restaurant. It's an outdoor summertime restaurant. There will be drinking, but it will be controlled drinking in a family-friendly environment. And that is the goal. You know?
And those are the, like the wooden, traditional picnic tables?
Yeah, there's
Little-
pictures of them in your little pamphlet here.
But you're not gonna pick those up in the storm, are you?
In the what?
If there's a
Everything
storm,
goes.
everything goes?
Everything goes.
Yeah, you have to throw those in a
Mhm.
trailer?
Yep.
Take that
In
one
a,
back because-
in a major storm.
Yeah,
Right.
that's- Yeah, I
It's a,
mean,
you know, the, I think it was it Isai, that,
Yeah.
city dock in
Yeah.
New London is under the same kind of program through the state. They had to move, but they're shipping containers with no wheels.
right,
Ours is much more portable.
And you guys moving, is that the discretion of emergency management?
Yeah, we have, we drafted a whole ordinance with, Chief Spear, that kind of tells us what triggers it, hurricane watch.
Yeah, and it gives us, I think it's a
Yeah.
48-hour
Yeah,
order to evacuate. And I believe we put in that ordinance for clarity, our inability to follow through could lose us the
Right.
the rights to operate a restaurant there. We were happy to do that because we're happy to, get our stuff out of there
Yeah, you don't
before
want that
something
damage. Yeah,
happens.
it's an investment.
I think John's had enough time with insurance over floods and storms in his life.
get the stuff out.
It's an expert.
Anyone else with any questions? Well, thank you for this time and thank you for this because we'll be looking
Yeah.
through it
Yeah.
and if any
It's nice to
concerns,
put a
we'll be
visual
glad
to
to
the
talk to you.
idea, because you hear about the concept.
Well, let me
Yeah.
ask, has everybody seen the video?
No.
I,
unless it was a
Yes.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Can I use that?
You can't Bluetooth to it now.
No?
No. Not that I know of, no. John?
I think it's a little bit before the Bluetooth era.
This, what about onto this?
So you can do it on the computer, probably. You can pull it up on,
Is it YouTube?
No, it's on my phone.
Just let the owl see it.
Do you have a Wi-Fi connection
Oh,
here?
yeah. No, the
Yeah.
little house.
Oh, boy.
it's the town hall Wi-Fi,
Yep.
and then it's 860-395-3127.
All right, one more time, 860-395.
3127.
Is that your phone number?
It's an old office up in town hall.
yeah.
All right, well, I'll see if I can get it to work.
Larry will be mad that I just put that on a recorded.
I don't know if you could be able to get it into the computer.
Let's see. Do you have an email address I can send you the link to?
Yeah, you can send it to, I won't be able to get it up
Yeah, we
in
can all
in this computer now, but
I mean, as long as you have it. What's your email?
it's gonna be R.
Mhm.
Allen,
2 L's or 1?
2 L's,
EN?
EN, yeah,
Yep.
at oldsaybrookct.gov.
Separate window.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that's wrong with that. Good enough, gotta work.
Yeah.
I mean, I can send it to the commissioner. And so
Yeah.
they can-
Well, it's just,
Is it the same video that you had going before?
yeah, so my sister-in-law is a big interior designer in Santa Barbara. And she does like Ben Affleck's house, like big stars, and they do all this like virtual stuff for their houses. And we worked for over 100 man hours putting this video together, bringing it to life. And it's just been like, not many people have seen it. It's amazing to me because we submitted it, we put it into the public record. I have guests coming over to the Essex all the time. We sit down and we watch the video together. Like, I had no idea that's what it looked like. So I did email that to you.
So we can share it with all of us all.
Yeah.
I could just share it. I could share it with the commission.
Yeah, well,
Because there's a couple members out here tonight as well. So I
Yeah.
think that'd be nice.
we
Thanks,
do
guys.
have 2 members. Do we have 2 of those booklets for 2 missing
You
members?
can keep this booklet.
Okay.
I don't need a copy anymore.
You know it?
I know it pretty well, I'd say.
So we have another one.
Oh, we have one, and you have an extra? Okay, we have one.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right. No, it is not safe.
Oh.
Thank you. Good to see you again, John.
Thank you all. Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you.
Follow up on that ice skating rink, huh?
Was our next meeting at his restaurant?
Yeah.
That invitation's been extended to everyone. Can't have a public meeting if there's a bar? Is that what it is?
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, maybe an after meeting.
That's what Zoom is all about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Good. Watch the course.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
So,
that's what he says, but he's watching his phone and we're in there.
Yeah.
Limited liability in this building, please.
18-month-old twins, 2 restaurants. I can see many things in this. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, moving along to other business regarding programs, facilities, and personnel.
I have none.
like
Yes,
to
Jeff.
go, I guess. So we are just wrapping up actually yesterday was our last after-school enrichment program at Goodwin, and we wrapped up in prior here at the rec center for middle schools. So we have finished all of our after-school programs for the year. Went pretty well. I think we only canceled one program the entire year, actually. It was a very successful year. Would thank the Board of Ed, Julie Pendleton, and Heston Sutton and his staff at the Goodwin Elementary School, who really helped us. Obviously, majority of our programs are at the Goodwin School, so they were great to get all of our programs going. So that was awesome. Next week, we start our summer concert series, which is brought to you by the Old Saybrook Rotary. We have 16 shows. Our staff just put the posters out. 150 posters went out around town, so hopefully everyone's seeing them. And yeah, we have Timmy Maya on Wednesday at 6:30, the next Wednesday, the 15th, and that'll run through August 24th. And then that following week, we'll start our movie nights, brought to you by Little Pub. And our first one is Disney's Jungle Cruise.
Yes.
So that'll be on the green. So that'll be a good start to that. We are wrapping up T-ball this weekend, actually. Saturday, we have 3 games, weather pending. I hope it stays away, but we'll have 3 games here. And actually, the Little League reached out to me and say they want to do an end of the season party to give any T-ball player a hot dog and popsicle. They wear their shirt and hat, and then they come to the next game. The Little League has a nice minor 2 in-town teams playing at 2 p.m. So they want to reach out and do something nice. So the Little League season is winding down as well, and it was a good season working together and getting all our games in, getting all our practices in, obviously sharing the fields and everything. So summer camp is 12 days away. We have 4 camps running in 3 locations. We have a lot of new staff, so we're getting everything ordered, getting everyone trained, going through that process. Our kids, our staff rather, was just at Camp College down in at Southern Connecticut State University, and they did a day training on just camps, and it's all camp staff from around the state come to this one big training and get together. But there is a team challenge at the end of it, and our staff won the team challenge. So they brought home some hardware, which was some soccer goals and some tie-dye equipment. But they had a good time. And then this Saturday, we actually have a team building training again with this company called Empower. Really good company that does a lot of like big team trainings. So should be good. And yeah, camp starts on June 20th. Go right through August 19th, 9 weeks. And then we have our soccer camp, which is sold out for the 3rd or 4th year in a row, starting June 27th up at Town Park. Summer softball starts June 20th as well. We have 9 teams this year, roughly 200-ish adults participating in it. So we're gonna have a really good, busy summer. We have a ton of new adult programs that have really taken off, and they're on our website. And so I think we'll have a nice, busy, relatively, really back to normal summer. So looking forward to all of that.
Got a question
Yes.
for Harvey's Beach.
Yes.
When you have the music and the, whatever on the beach, does, our concessionaire stay open late?
She usually does, yep. Yep, I give her the poster, and then she usually makes sure she's there for those 5 nights.
And that was within the contract that we signed in. Okay, I just had a question about that. And thank you, by the way, for getting that electrical box finally fixed at the memorial, Veterans Memorial.
You're welcome.
That's, all right. It only took 3 years, that's all.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that
You
one.
just weren't using the plug correctly.
No, they're full. It'll light someone's ears up if they don't get it around, but that's okay, thank you. Okay, so we're going on to old business, all parks review.
We're doing pretty well at all the parks. I've actually just turned on the irrigations. Tells you how well we're still growing grass. So I just literally turned on the road, went at Ferry Road last week. Murray Field will be turning on tomorrow. So parks are really looking well. We've opened up our beaches. Obviously, we've had 2 fairly successful weekends. The weather held off on Memorial Day weekend, so Sunday and Monday were really nice days there. Very busy on both days. Filled up at Harvey's Beach both days. Again, filled up this past Sunday at Harvey's Beach. So beaches are looking good. We did purchase, the town purchased a beach cleaning apparatus machine from the town of Old Lyme, and we have worked on it, and it is in operation. So we'll be cleaning the beaches more often than we have been. We were doing it every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, depending on when the contractor could get there. So we're going to plan on doing it every week, which is just a machine that goes in, rotates the sand, picks up all the dirt. I mean, not the dirt, the debris, rocks, things like that. So we'll be doing that a little bit more often. A lot of paint at Town Beach, painted the whole building, painted the fence. If you've noticed, the handicap ramp is in at Town Beach. And the handicap matting will be going up hopefully by the end of this week as well.
At town, or is that Harvey's?
Both. This handicap matting that goes from the boardwalk that I bought last year, we just didn't put it up straight out to the water's edge. And the same now will be at Town Beach, where the walkway goes out to the beach there, will be going straight to the water. So it's handicap access down to the water. Other than that, like I said, all the parks are doing well, and it's gonna be a busy season.
Great question on the beaches. Do they have umbrellas for the lifeguards?
We do.
They
Yeah.
do?
Do they tend to use them?
I don't
No.
know. She came out
It is the
really red.
early part of the year they like to work on their tan first. But, you know, there's umbrellas for both places. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question. I noticed there's some construction going out in the front. Are you putting up a new lamp post out there?
No. So yes, kind of, sort of. The lamppost that was there, the base stanchion, was just really close to the parking lot. It got hit 4 or 5 times when we first opened and knocked over, so we decided not to put it up. I've been asking for years for it to be fixed, and we're just moving that base backwards so we can put a lamppost back up and actually not have it hit by a car.
Is there any intent on replacing the other one that's a little bit further down?
That's a little bit more difficult. There's not a lot of room
Yeah.
to put that, so it's still probably not. But
Let's
we
save that
do have
as a-
lighting on the building that shines out in the parking lot, so
Yeah.
this one is fairly dangerous. So.
Okay.
Also, so we had talked at prior meetings about signage at Saybrook Point. Those signs have been ordered. They have not come in. They haven't called me yet. So I have 4 of them that I ordered to put on A-frames that will say parking for park patrons only. Violators will be towed. So,
One step forward. I like to do everything one step at a
right.
time.
So those will be going up. Well, I haven't quite figured out how to store them. I'm sure they'll end up in the river eventually, but we'll figure that out as we go, I guess.
Hang a couple of cement blocks on the inside of them. It makes it really heavy.
Well, we'll find out, I guess. So
Or we'll set them in cement.
Yeah,
Can the mini golf people put them in like the pavilion at night? or
I'm
something?
pretty
Is that-
sure we can come up with something, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. It's just, as you know, it's really, no,
Does Dennis go down at night?
not necessarily.
They
Parking and
are
stuff.
meant to be filled with water, I think.
They
but they're
are,
the-
or sand,
I've
yeah.
never seen anybody do that,
I
but I think technically you could.
You could, there is an opening for standing water.
Yeah,
We'll see how it goes. I mean, certainly we want to deter parking down there, and it's parking is tough down there right now with COVID testing still being there. We've lost a lot of spots because of that.
are they testing now or they just have the building there?
They were testing last week.
I went in and they were closed.
There are only certain days,
Yeah, Monday, Wednesdays and Saturdays.
but I did see people getting tested last week,
Yeah.
so I don't know when it's gonna leave. That's not up to me, so
Who's it up to? Just-
emergency management.
Yeah,
Will you do the Fort Saybrook parking lot striping when you do the other striping? Or is that all
I have a
one thing?
different plan in place.
Okay.
We have a actual parking plan down there. We want to change it around a little bit.
Okay,
So,
I've been parking there in the morning.
I know there's not, it's
It's
never,
not a problem.
it's actually,
Not a
that
problem.
lot has never had been striped ever.
It looks like there's like just a little.
Yeah,
It's just like, maybe they were like mini stripes.
We had mini ones down at the point as well, but not really striped out the way I have this plan.
Yeah, I don't think it's an
Yeah.
issue for anybody.
Yeah, we were trying to add a few more spots. So I want to get rid of the middle island
Oh.
to add some more spots both sides to make it parking on either side.
makes it a little easier backing out too, when you have traffic coming down.
Yeah.
But, so we won't be able to paint our parking lot with the new traffic direction at.
Probably not until COVID testing ends. That's what Chief had decided with me a while ago, and we thought
Yeah.
to be done by April.
Yeah,
But
And then
it
he went to
came back.
May, and now he's thinking into June now.
I don't know when it's gonna
You
end.
can't relocate those trailers to like the police department side parking lot. I
That'd
mean,
be
there's gotta be
great.
another location besides our town property. Here, there's gotta be other town property.
Seems like,
Schools would
this,
be,
you know,
Yeah,
In the
schools,
opposite
yeah,
end.
like the,
The one
Yeah,
thing
the
about
middle
that
school-
property
middle school
now,
parking lot.
they have big construction. plans,
it is,
Oh.
But the high school doesn't.
there's been a lot of money spent to get that electrified down there as well, so
yeah,
that was done on purpose to
Yeah.
help them out as a temporary service, so.
temporary.
Temporary service, it is temporary, but it was costly to do
Yeah.
that, so, but it was reimbursable as well, so.
Right.
Hopefully it leaves, goes away, just done with it.
Okay,
Now, Sue, when you say that we're gonna put up signs that say the parking policy will be enforced, is there any enforcement that is gonna follow?
I mean,
the actual signs?
we could call a tow truck if we wanted to go that far. Trying to do it in steps, but we haven't met with Steve. You and I just didn't get the time frame, but I hope before the end of the month, we can at least sit down and meet with Steve and impress upon the management, general manager and Steve, how important it is to get their employees off our parking lot. And I don't know how else to say that, but 6 o'clock in the morning, there are 20 cars there and they're not walking the dog or anything else. They're there. And my thing is, the pavilion is being rented quite a lot, and I presume it will be extremely busy this summer. I think when you rent a pavilion and you have a parking lot there, they should have the right to at least have that parking. Now, in the busy summer, can you guarantee that? Probably not with mini golf, but they stand a better chance of having parking there if the workers at our nearby inn stay off the property.
And the fresh salt people. so.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fresh
Oh,
out
yeah.
there.
Because I went there Saturday to bring Jack lunch, and there's people setting up, I think, for a party at the pavilion, and there was not one parking spot. I had to actually double park just to run on the sandwich. And I was like, oh, these people are trying to set up for the party, and they were double parked between people.
And, I mean, this is just the first step. I mean, you can change the wording on the sign saying no fresh salt or
Yeah.
Saybrook Point in parking. But
It's always
I
gonna be
think
an issue. And
Yeah.
this is gonna make it another issue too.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
there
there would
is
be-
going to be residual from it.
There will
be,
There- there
for sure.
absolutely.
I think
So
when
it'll
that
just be a
comes in,
continued process, but we'll have.
You know,
we'll
but
work
if we
with
start making the steps and we start being really serious about, all right, we did this, we tried
Yeah.
it didn't work, we're gonna go to this step, we're gonna go to this step. Worst case scenario, I mean, we have to hire an attendant there
Yeah.
from
Right.
6 to 9 or whatever. I don't want to do that. I would rather have a chain across in the morning, and that way they will have to find somewhere else. I'd rather have dialogue with Steve. We should be having a employees parking in a specific area and then shuttling them to where they need to be.
so you can't just chain off that, because then you'd have to chain off the other two
Right.
entry points from mini golf.
It
The
can
other
be
two.
done. I mean, you know, a chain is cheap.
Right.
I don't, it's not aesthetically pleasing, but it definitely will
point
start
across.
training people to get elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I happen to know we have a lot of people who like to see the sunrise. So-
Have your previous discussions with Steve been fruitful in dialing it back a little bit, or does he give you lip service and say, "I'll"? do
No,
what
I think,
can"?
I'm not gonna say it's lip service. I think he's very sincere, the general manager. Of course, we've gone through several general managers, so I don't want to blame it just on the GM, but sincere when they start, but then the follow-up and the responsibility of saying, hey, I saw you park your car there. You're not supposed to be there. If I see it one more time, I'm gonna, dock you or whatever they have the right to do. And I mean, our biggest thing in the morning is the sous chefs and the prep people that do the restaurant.
Just start
And then
putting notes under their
afterwards.
windshield wipers.
I think
That
that'd be-
didn't go on recording, right?
I think
But that'd be,
I think
that'd be
that's
more
fair.
beneficial, I
Have
think.
a flyer, like an
If-
informational, like, this is gonna be for
Yeah,
park people.
this is a
parking
warning.
You
lot.
know, your next shift, you're getting towed, it's gonna cost you $300 to get
Right.
your car back.
Yeah, we have to be a
Otherwise-
little more proactive with it, because
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
a problem for so many
And
years.
record-
Like, it's like
we-
we keep
we-
doing these
Yeah.
small little
But we could
steps.
record their, license plate and.
Well,
I think
yeah,
a
we-
seasonal
I mean, we
attendant isn't a
can.
bad idea either, especially if this perhaps moves forward.
Yeah.
I think a seasonal attendant, and then he's on board, he seems
Yeah.
very steadfast in his choices and directions and willing to assist, we bring him on board, perhaps.
So I think in our
Jessica,
meeting with Steve, I'm going to request that we have license plates for the cars of employees he has, so that we can compare them, so that we don't have to go through the Saybrook police. Can you check who this is and where they come from and stuff? He has a list of them because he has to give them a special permit to park in the previous agreement with Doc and Dine, John Kadama. I'm trying to go it the easy way first, and then we steadily just get more enforcement. But if we don't do the first steps, then holy heck, it's going to be on our shoulder. So, all right, I think before the end of the month, I hope we can sit down and have a talk with Steve and his GM or her. Old business, strategic plan and parks discussion.
Nothing new on that front. I know the survey work had been completed. I'm not sure what Van Jacobson does with that or how long it takes him to put that into what his plan is. But we did get the bill from it 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I think it was on the last month's meetings. Could have been on this
This
one.
is for town park.
Yes, for Town Park. So I know he's moving forward with that process, but nothing new to discuss on that.
Okay, well, part of that strategic plan was your discussion with ARPA commission. And I thought you did a good job, by the way, with the PowerPoint that you gave. And of course, a lot of the commissioners were impressed with what we were looking at and what we think could be handled in the future, how we're looking forward to the use of our properties, how they are aging out. I mean, a lot of things haven't been updated since the 60s and 70s. So it was an interesting discussion. But all right, moving forward to preserve update. Unfortunately, I don't have anything. Do you?
I don't, we haven't met ad hoc wise.
Yeah.
Not much going on at this point.
Yeah. Okay. And other business regarding programs, facilities, and personnel.
None of those business.
No? Okay. Well, we're moving right along to chairman's report. Chairman reports, not very much this month. Isn't that nice? The only thing I did do was speak on behalf of the commission for the ARPA commission. They had some questions about Park and Rec and what we were doing and what our strategic plan was. It was all on record, so not much there. Director's report.
I'm good.
He's good. Wow,
Can I ask
we're
about the
moving right
discount?
along. Lay
You
it
can ask about discounts,
on.
sure.
Oh, yeah, that's
The,
about discount.
Already covered it.
90% of the holes are already mapped out, ready to go. The baskets have been ordered. They should be here in the next couple weeks. And the goal is to have several of those baskets up before the July timeframe.
So awesome.
Okay, and where the funding's coming from, did we say?
It's from our strategic plan, sinking fund,
Sinking fund, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay,
which
You
is.
wanna have a grand opening?
Yeah,
yeah.
Was that something we talked? did
Yeah.
We
talk
did
about
talk about
that?
that. It's kind of, we certainly will have one, but we want to make sure the course is done first too. We still have a lot of signage got to put up and things like that. So
tentatively, do you want to do it in September timeframe or?
I don't want to put any tentative things on things until we figure out when we're actually completed.
Okay,
Because there will be a lot of signs that need to be done and done correctly. Holes that we're working with Rob and another gentleman on. If you ever played golf, you know, the golf hole and hole number one, it kind of shows you what the hole looks like, where it's going. We're going to put those at the holes as well. So
Dog
there's,
leg, people leg.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of little things that need to be done before we have that grand opening, and we got to figure out when we're going to complete all those. So
and whether we want to name this particular course besides just this
Right.
course?
it's up to you guys.
We thought about, remember?
Are we allowed to apply?
We
it?
did.
Nice idea.
'Cause I know like town
Who's that?
fields, like school
We
fields,
were
you can't
discussing
name.
about naming it after, what's
Are
his,
we allowed to?
what's his last
Lemire?
name?
Bob Lemire?
Rob
Oh,
Lemire,
oh,
with
yeah,
Lemire,
yeah,
disc
yeah.
golf.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
true.
much work into it. I mean,
Okay,
as an option, we
Just
can
a
discuss it more, but
right, right.
that we discussed last time. Thought it was a good
So
idea.
we sort of had two conversations here at the same time, and we were discussing on this side of the table, not excluding you guys, possible naming the disc golf, Lemire Disc Golf, after Bob's huge helping us out free of charge. So it might be something that we want to think about as we get closer to a grand opening.
Write the sign and design that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes some time.
Okay,
Speaking of names, is Smoke on the Water the name of that?
yeah, I guess the corporation is the Point,
That's certainly changed.
but the name of the eatery, I guess, is going to be called Smoke on the Water.
That was I was gonna ask a question, but I figured it might not be my business of who is funding this. Is it a partnership between him and Kadama?
Yes,
Are they, so I was wondering where the money and the funds are coming for this big project.
What if they run out?
I don't think, yeah,
Is it
as a
a-
commission, I don't think that's our.
It wasn't our
Right,
concern, but
yeah.
as a taxpayer, I'm like, it's,
That's the
interesting.
different part of it. Yeah.
well, there will be plenty of meetings, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that information will come out.
Just to go back, I'm sorry.
No, go right
we're done
ahead,
with that,
Jim.
But to go back to the disc golf course, it might be good if you or Ray or whoever has most interface with Rob to ask him if he's interested in having it named after him, because some people would, some people wouldn't. Before we actually go
Surprise
ahead
the
and
heck
name
out
it,
of them,
then-
yeah.
You know his answer, but I'll ask him.
Or he may have a better name that he would like.
Yeah,
to
I think he might have
Yeah.
the rights maybe to name it
That's not to say we
based on the
couldn't
work
put a
they did.
little plaque up there that
Oh,
says,
definitely
you know,
that,
you
yeah,
know,
certainly.
Special thanks.
Yeah.
Or what
You
you
can have
call
a-
it? Do you call
the
it
initials
disc park,
start
or do you
Lemire
call
Landing
it
or
like
something.
course?
Yeah.
Like, there's a verbiage, I'm sure, that's specific to disc golf, course,
I
right?
know.
Most of them say
Call it
disc
something we want.
golf, but I've done
Yeah.
some research around the state what they're actually.
Right, I'd have.
If it's actually, disc golf is actually attached to it or not. I don't know.
Like disc golf park, what do they call it?
Most
Yeah.
most of the websites I've seen, their acronym is EGC, so disc
Right.
golf course, I think is just the
Right.
standard
I think
name.
most of them though, if think around the park, or Wickham Park, I think has one. It's just, it's an amenity of the particular park,
Right.
which this is
So
still
then
an
maybe the
amenity
plaque is a
of.
better idea
Yeah,
in
'cause
honor
it's
of.
still an amenity of
Waldender's
Town Park.
dedication.
Town Park,
Yeah.
right?
Right, yeah,
The
no,
name
I
of the
see
park
that.
is Clark Community Park,
So it's already named.
right?
And
Right,
So-
that makes
that's
sense.
another thing that's like, where does town park come from?
Long time ago.
You old people who live here.
Yeah.
Long time
Probably
ago,
has this, yeah.
before it was
Yeah.
officially named Clark Community
Park.
Park.
People ask
It
that all the
was the
time.
town park,
Was it
Where's
town
Clark?
park?
yeah.
And you say
And it was
town, they know
called
where.
Crystal Lake,
Yeah.
Wasn't it
all
Town
right?
Woods,
So you
though? Was it
went
called
to,
Town
there-
Woods?
it was, yeah, sort of around, but not in the same area, but it was just considered the town park because we were given this property, we didn't know what to do with it. It didn't have a ball field on it really, it had an open grass field and then you went skating. And if you really loved the water, you went swimming.
No, I
Yeah.
skated a lot. It was good.
But I mean, it was just
Skating,
considered
that's
town park.
Skating is nice there. When
Yeah.
it's a fun park.
It, the trouble is, years ago when I was so young, we at least had 4 weeks of skating weather and then
That's the
boom, it was
problem now. The
gone.
weather
Now
is
it's like you get 1 week if you're really lucky.
Like 2 weekends this year, I think we skated. It's there. It's not
And it always
weather
scares me
friendly
because
area
it's
for that.
like 1 week was only 1.5 inches and now it's 3.5
Probably why there's
inches,
not a lot of ice rinks around.
But, all right, liaison reports, how about the lights?
We haven't met since we met last in April. So we're meeting again. In June, we're gonna have another meeting. So we're still on target for delivery of the poles. I think July 11th is the date that Julie said they were coming in. It'll take a little bit, not that long to get the actual poles installed. The time frame to install all the electrical and the conduit is gonna take 2 or 3 weeks at a minimum, if it's good weather. Then they have to sew back all the turf, because they're going on the turf, they're not going on the outside of the turf, so they have to pull back the turf to install the poles and sew the turf back on, and then, so we're hoping by the end of August to be on target to have it done.
It's
So-
getting there.
We're getting there. And then the other thing we're in planning with is the design of our brick walkway, memoriam, ticket booth area. So we're gonna our plan is to extend the retaining wall that's been installed along the tennis courts and go along to the inside of where the fence is now to kind of continue that retaining wall, open up a huge area there and do bricks in there with the ticket booth, with some benches, with some shrubbery, to really make it a welcoming kind of, area, and do some kind of a monument with, kind of what the Kate did. If anybody goes to the Kate, you see there's a big, nice plaque that has all the names of anybody that contributed to the remodel of the museum. So we're gonna do something similar to that, like listing all the major donors and people who contributed to the project to make it happen, so. That's in the planning, so we have to get an architectural, design and get it all approved, and our Board of Ed and
So our brick will be right up front.
Our
where
brick will
everybody
be
can
right
see
up
it.
front. Make sure-
I was thinking that too. I was like, we
say-
have some bull.
Yeah, so that's, but that part of the project won't get done until probably after the fall season, maybe before the spring season starts, because we have to make sure we get the lights up first, priority, getting the pathway lighting in. And then the next project will be the installation of all the bricks, so.
And they're moving those bathrooms out of there that way. Where are they putting
That's
those
the hope,
things? It's
yeah.
so unattractive.
Because they did install where the bathrooms were, there's 2 handicap spots now. There's one kind of right next to
Oh,
the
yeah.
tennis courts and one to the right of the entryway. So there's 2 designated handicap spots now. So I think they were talking about where we could put the porta potties, relocating those somewhere else instead of right near
You
the
guys
entrance.
should get
by
a
the
porta
ticket
potty
booth.
like the ones we got.
Yeah,
at pickleball.
compostable
Yeah.
ones would be
That would be
brilliant.
Yeah,
That would be great.
it's beyond the scope of me.
And they don't.
Mr. Board of Ed.
But
We'll
yeah.
look into that.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
nice.
but money has been coming out of all the monies that we raised and the monies that we got. Some money has started to filter out to pay for things, so it's rolling.
Sounds good.
Very exciting.
Anybody have anything to contribute?
I just have a liaison report for the kayak.
Oh, yes.
launches
Thank
and
you, sir.
storage. Larry, we had met and put some properties together and then comprised a list, if you will, to shoot out to DEP and to zoning in town as well, just say these are kind of what we're looking at and, help us sort of craft the plan or a pitch, a proposal to Carl and this board of selectmen just to kind of say where we're going. So we heard back from DEP, which was took a little bit of time. They had a few questions for us and we put a response back out to them. And then from there, we were looking for their feedback onto what costs look like, what things could potentially look like, and then prioritize the four properties. So,
And what floor are you thinking of?
Founders. I feel that I'm drawing a blank the name of the road, but South Cove, west side of South Cove.
Okay.
Near the Maynard Farm Stand property near the Oyster River Market.
Yeah.
Southview Circle, near Trask Park down in that nook.
Southview over by like Finwood and stuff. Not South Cove, is that by like Finwood? No.
Basically sort of going down Maple Avenue and then there's already a public access
Okay.
back there.
There's a road, I forget the name of it also, but it literally is a U. The road, it connects on both sides and it goes like this. And at this part.
Oh,
of the road-
Soundview, you
And it's
mean?
right off Maple?
Yeah, it's right off.
Soundview.
Yes.
By where Stevens.
Yes, I think that's Soundview because the other one's Clinton Avenue, Hill Street.
I think it's on
Soundview.
Condos where they've made all those.
There are some condos. in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, so it's on that,
But
Yeah.
there's
the butt of that.
the town owns a spit of land there, so access point.
So
to
right
the
on
town.
that,
Mhm.
huh?
Right, it's right on, as the road goes like this.
Yeah, I know.
There's
It's 'cause
property
there's
that
that
goes
one
along
house
the
that
water
built the
there
new
that-
dock, so it's
Yeah.
like right there.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't.
Years
think
ago,
there's-
before the water changed, there used to be a little
Someone
beach
could
there.
put it in, but-
When we were
just
down there,
triggered
it was
me.
all,
You
So
just
maybe I'm on
triggered
the
me.
right road.
Triggered
The road
you?
where the.
Yeah.
it's
comes
a
around
square.
Saybrook Point properties.
Yeah.
I have a question.
No.
Those
not that.
condos
Raise
don't
your
have that
hand.
far. One more
It's
down.
well up. You gotta go down Maple Avenue.
Oh, Maple,
Yeah.
okay,
And then
gotcha,
cut in.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes more sense. Okay, I
yes.
was way far up, okay.
So at a meeting a while ago, we had the people on Cricket Court asking about the right of way to the Maple Avenue ball field.
Yep.
Has anything, is there signage? Did we ever do anything with that?
We did not, no.
Okay, nothing's ever come of it.
Nothing came about of that. no.
We try to keep it
We have it
clear.
Clearing it?
cleared on our end from the park going out.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you looked at what the neighbor's property is, straight out to the electrical box, basically where that's where the right of way
Mhm.
runs from Cricket all the way back to our field. There's some shrubs on the property line that are really close.
Yeah.
So, but it is clear from the park, our area, which was not clear.
Okay, so
So
now,
there is an opening there
okay.
at the park that looks forward towards Cricket.
Sometime if there's interest, we'll probably put a little sign that says ball field this way
Yeah,
and that's it.
Aurora had written, literally like a little wooden post about that high.
Yeah.
Ground, it said, right away. Maple Avenue Field. So, but we have not proceeded with
and
that.
nobody's had a problem
But
with
so
it.
long as
No
we keep it
problems.
cleared,
Right, keep it cleared.
we can
Because we're
continue
getting
to
into the
use
summer
it
where you're
years
gonna have a lot
ahead.
of kids probably going over there.
No,
So-
shrubs are just more mature. Like they were probably put in place a long time ago.
A long time. ago.
Because they've
Yeah.
grown into
Yeah.
block
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Cover it.
I do know, there's a couple of people there that walk their dogs and they use that right away
Yeah.
from their house there.
You've seen. poop
So.
on the field.
Oh.
That's not good.
No, it's not, because it's a ball field where
Right,
kids are
yeah.
playing.
Have you
But-
been approached by the school at all to use your fields for summer practices or anything? Because now the high school fields are gonna shut down.
No, but I didn't bring it up, but we will have our annual soccer leagues. So those will be a very, first,
Okay.
as far as soccer goes. Football, no, there's been no conversation on that. And
Soccer.
not from
They
the
can use the other,
coaches.
the front field and then that soccer practice field.
They haven't said yet. We haven't been
Oh,
told
we
yet.
might-
We
we
haven't been
might not be
told
able to
yet
use
what
that.
we can use at the field, whether they're gonna block off the whole back. Because there's gonna be a lot of equipment coming in and out of there, so they might not let anybody in the back of the school, so no teams will be able, they might be able to use that front field. But the back, like my practice field in the back and the practice football field are probably
Tennis
gonna be
courts?
shut. Probably no tennis courts.
Wow, that's huge.
Mm.
I don't know. That's why we're waiting for
Right.
Julie or somebody to tell us what the directive is.
As far as tennis goes, just, we were planning a
just
summer league,
resurfaced
it's
them.
not going to.
Yeah.
occur. So from a general
redid it.
public use, the tennis courts will be
Tennis
open
courts are open.
all summer.
Okay.
Other than the 4 days we have our camp.
All right, so I'll go ask Julie. Some information out so we can tell coaches to maybe reach out to you. If they need field usage or something.
Anyone
Can you
else?
fill
Hear
one of our
back from the
reservation
ARPA?
for us?
Yeah, right?
Your pitch, when will we hear back? from the
Oh,
ARPA?
not for some time yet. We're thinking, ARPA is thinking of making up a selection application so that people who feel that they need money from ARPA can make the application form. So that's about as far as we've gotten so far. That's it. Anyone else with any contribution or question? Entertain a motion to adjourn? Okay, second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, I presume? Okay,
Aye.
thank you much.
Aye.